Is there a question or do I just say the line? Okay, but don't show my face. You can't keep getting away with it!
It was really cool bringing Powerplex to life. I love that the team was able to give Powerplex such a sort of explosive appearance and demeanor and sort of entire vibe and deal. It's so much hatred for Invincible and so little responsibility that he's taking for his own part in all of this stuff. It's an interesting headspace to get in. One of my favorite characters in sort of a very unhinged way.
He's a very emotional character in sort of that gray area of, is he a villain or is he just suffering from intense trauma? His facial features, they're very over the top. He's in anguish. It's all about how can we best channel that inner mental state that Powerplex is in.
Whenever we're creating a new character, we have to make sure that whatever they're doing fills a specific need. To do that, we looked at kind of his lore. So he's got the capability to absorb impacts and use that to amplify his abilities. So one of the ways we wound up approaching it was, instead of it being a resource, we decided to try out a skill check, utilizing what's typically known as like a just frame.
You can see like this little sparkle that appears above his head, and that's your indicator of like, that's when you're supposed to press the button again, right? So did you do it right or not? You'll actually see it get bigger like that.
When you first play Powerplex, it's a little bit misleading. He's technical, he's different. All of his moves have different things that can occur with this just frame mechanic. So say I throw his projectile. Hits normally, you get a normal reaction, but if I just frame it, causes a pop-up.
The just frame version of his projectile, I think it knocks down as well. You reset so much momentum.
It's just a really difficult projectile to get around. The thing about it though is that it's really high. So even if you try to jump over it, you'll get clipped by this projectile a lot. Because he's a zoner in the sense, he doesn't have the best up close game. So the flip side of that, he's got these approach tools, right? So he can use his forward special to really close the gap. And I think this just frame mechanic off this forward special is really cool because you get the pop-up, right? Because of that, having the pop-up there, you can do the jump cancel instead. But once he's airborne, I feel like this is kind of where he truly shines. The fact that he's got the air dashes and he can go upwards or downwards in any diagonal with them, I think that's super cool.
And the fact that he has a tri-jump is so sick. This alone is already pretty important. Like, some people would come down with like a heavy or whatever. I think he's able to jump out of that too. You could surprise somebody with like a dive kick as well. Where if I come down with like a tri-dash medium, go for a dive kick, call an assist, continue pressure, it's so nasty. One of his down specials is an uppercut. If you do a just frame follow where he smashes into the ground, it does throw the opponent in the air where you could jump cancel and continue the combo afterwards. I think it's super important to let him rock as a point character. I think having an assist with a projectile to back him up so he doesn't have to necessarily use his as consistently on the ground to approach is really good because that air mobility of his is pretty up there. He's not gonna necessarily have like all the meter just yet to dish out like the big combos, but that's where like the assists kind of come in.
He does have the air mobility, right? So any kind of cross-up situation while you're calling like, say robot missiles, you dash over, you make him block the other way. So because of air mobility, he can kind of go with anybody. But I think that in general, you want someone who can lock them down so he can get it if he needs to. But otherwise, you just want pressure from a distance so you can use him as a battery and use the projectiles to build up that meter for yourself.
You're gonna want to lab monster this character. He's gonna have some really fun stuff. This is phenomenal. I really like hearing him scream, "You deserve this!"